He will pursue a degree in economics and business administration. It's my pleasure to introduce Valedictorian Aaron Chow.
That's my brother!
Thank you, Principal Lindo, and thank you, Escondido, for being so kind to us tonight. Before I begin, I have a quick favor to ask of you. First, a little background. Some of you may not know, but I have a twin brother. His name is Darren. I know, funny, rhymes with Aaron. You get used to it. Yesterday, Darren also gave a commencement speech to his graduating class out there at Norte High School. And my mom has a video documenting the duration of his speech, every crisply delivered sentence, triumphant pun, and applause from the audience. When she shares the videos of our graduation speeches with our relatives, some of which have fuzzy eyesight and can only understand Mandarin, the only metric by which they will measure who gave the better graduation speech is which one of us got the louder applause. Which I don't know if you guys grasp the gravity of the situation. It means that I'm pitted in the most important battle of my 18-year sibling rivalry. The only thing separating me from sure debilitating victory is to get the louder applause tonight. So, class of 2017, friends and family, the favor I ask of you tonight is that you be as raucous and as loud as humanly possible, so that the people who watch this tomorrow or the following day after that or a decade from now always knew that even though Del Norte's football team is only slightly better than ours, they know that Escondido Charter High School's White Tigers had the louder roar. Are you ready, class 2017? You can start the video now. I'm going to start over so we have a good fresh start. I'll cue you guys. I'll do this and you guys be really loud, okay? So I'm going to start over. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Principal Galindo. And thank you, Escondido, for being so kind to us today. My name is Aaron, and I'm incredibly honored and humbled to represent your Escondido Charter High School IOP graduating class of 2017. I'd like all the graduates on stage to join me in thanking the friends, family, and role models in the audience tonight who have helped us to get us to where we are tonight. Now, 4 years ago, I took, just like many of us on stage tonight, an advanced computers course with Mrs. Palomino. And the final project of that course was to write 3 entries of a food blog. A blog. And all of us wrote about different topics. Some of us wrote about beauty and others baseball. Some of us wrote about The Office and Shroot conspiracies. Well, mine was a recipe blog. And after those first 3 measly recipes, I continued to produce that food blog for the remainder of my high school years. I wrote about the experience of writing a food blog for 1 or maybe 8 of the colleges I applied to. I leveraged it as a media outlet against my most bitter arch enemies and used it to woo girls. You can imagine my success. I don't know if Mrs. Palomino is in the audience tonight, but FYI, if I'm still single, which means you still have a lot of work to do. But that's not what I want to talk about tonight. Tonight is about us. Tonight is a celebration, the culmination of 4 years of shared triumphs and tribulations, a shared high school experience. So, in preparation for this graduation speech, I tried to find unifying factors between us over the past 4 years. I watched maybe 1,000 hours of commencement addresses and probably cycled through probably a dozen potential metaphors. After all of the graduation speeches that go viral are the ones with the good, unique, punchy metaphors. So tonight I officially announce to you, Class 2017, our official graduation metaphor. Are you ready? Yeah. Okay. The humble egg. Now, hear me out. It sounds lame, but listen to this. Chicks breaking out of their high school shells, flying away from high school and into the real world. You'd have to agree with me, it's pretty much flawless. It's flawless. And that's what I thought, too. Until I Googled, can chickens even fly? I literally found a YouTube video of a chicken flying straight into a fox's mouth. And so, I completely intended on abandoning the whole egg metaphor. But in true ILP form, I procrastinated to my TOR meeting, or in this case, tonight's event. And by the time I got to it, I was backstage and I forgot my laptop charger, and I didn't want to fight traffic back home, so we're stuck with the whole egg idea. But then, also in true charter form, I showed my resilience and my resourcefulness, and I turned to all of our favorite friend, Google, and I found myself scratching the underbelly of the internet, and I found myself on a website, www.unitedegg.com/general stats, and I found a startling statistic. I discovered that the average Escondido family consumes 1,100 eggs per year. Now, using my charter analytical skills, I crunched the numbers and I found that that's 1 egg for every day of the school week, for every graduate on stage, 1 egg for Coach Snyder, 1 egg for the assistant to the regional manager, Principal Galindo, 1 egg for every teary-eyed parent, texting sibling, and tired grandparent in the audience tonight. 1 egg for every stranger running around Kit Carson Park listening to the disembodied voice of a boombox-empowered teenager. You see, eggs are so mundane, so ordinary, that each one of us graduates can consume about 275 eggs each year without even realizing, perhaps fathoming our capacity to consume 275 eggs in a mere school year. You may be wondering to yourself, silently, sweating a little bit, how is he going to pull himself out of this one? Well, like the staggering number of eggs we consume and not even realize, there are countless ordinary, extraordinary things that we miss because we're too caught up with life, too caught up practicing for that next test, that we forget to tell our parents how much we love them, too busy with work that we never pursue our faith as strongly as we intended, too busy dealing with our own problems that we never get around to helping others with theirs. Now, when we become too caught up with our own problems, our own growth, our own progress, the same type of determination that has gotten us to where we are tonight, we put ourselves at risk, not just of high cholesterol, but also that life passes us by without us ever truly experiencing it. In our economics packets, we all learned about risks. I'm not just talking about financial risks or unemployment risk, risks that an avian flu outbreak might disrupt the supply of shell eggs. I'm talking about the risks that we might fail, the risks that we might be misunderstood, the risks that others might not like us or our ideas. Well, inherent in the careful management of these risks, we often put ourselves at risk of sacrificing who we truly are and what we truly believe in. So a personal anecdote, maybe a confession. Just this past year, I remember trying to manage the risk of not getting into my dream schools that I wrote and rewrote essays for months on end, never picking up the Bible to read a verse. I remember last year in one of my classes, my friend was getting bullied, and I never said anything because I was afraid of risking my friend's ridicule. Sadly, and oftentimes, the risks that we think matter aren't the things that actually end up mattering. The risks and successes that we focus on so very much aren't, sadly and oftentimes, significant to what truly matters. This ends the uplifting part of my speech. Instead of managing the selfish risks in our lives, we have the opportunity every single day to acknowledge the simpler things that give us joy and give others joy. Imagine your grandmother's face lighting up as she sees her favorite grandchild calling her from across the country. Imagine the stronger bonds we will forge if we not only partake in our fellow graduates' successes, but also stand beside them in their failures, rejections, and tribulations to console, comfort, and to guide them. Over the past 4 years, Charter has given us a lot. The ability to explore our passions and to cure friendships that will truly last longer than we have at Charter. We mustn't forget to return that favor. To quote Khalil Gibran from English Brit Lit, which we all totally remember reading, and in fact, this will probably be your favorite quote, so join along if you know the lyrics. You give but little when you give of your possessions. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. For what are your possessions but things you keep in God for fear that you might need them tomorrow? There are those who give and know not the pain in giving. Through the eyes of these, God speaks, and through his hands, he smiles upon the earth. These qualities, genuineness, generosity, and love, are the qualities that will make Charter graduates succeed far beyond the strides of our fellow graduates at other institutions. Now, class of 2017, this is our final day of high school. And whether it was soul-crushing or amazing for you, I hope you remember what's truly important. For though we may forget which Gibran books we cherished in senior year, if we haven't already, or brain fart on how to factor x squared plus 5x minus 6, I'll give you your time. Trick question, the solutions are imaginary. You will remember that to succeed in life is not to make the most money. It's not to hold the most power. To succeed in life is to give to others knowing not the pain of giving. It is to be kind and forgiving, and someone your mama would be proud of. So, class of 2017, I'll give my all to you. And I hope you do the same for the people you love and who I'm sure love you back. Thanks.
Thank you, Aaron. Now it's time to present a few scholars.